Right, welcome back. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade is working around the clock to establish a National Cooperative Bank, which is a game-changing initiative for the Kingdom of Eswatini. With projected assets of over 3.5 billion emalangeni, the ministry has partnered with the renowned German Cooperative Raiffeisen Confederation to drive this vision forward. Consultations with local cooperatives are already underway, setting the stage for a strong, inclusive financial institution. However, many local cooperatives have struggled to manage members' finances effectively, raising questions about whether they are fully prepared for such an ambitious undertaking. To delve deeper into how ready the country is for this transformation, we're now joined in studio by the director of the German Cooperative Raiffeisen Confederation, Fernando Espinosa. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
How are you doing, Fernando? You doing good?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you. Look, I think the Kingdom of Eswatini's economy will be doing good once this establishment is done, right? And it's quite an ambitious thing. What is the overall objective of this study on establishing a cooperative bank in the Kingdom? Okay.
The overall objective that we have is assess the feasibility, the readiness, and also the roadmap to establish this as a cooperative bank. What we want to create is a financial platform that has financial instruments for the cooperative sector. And this is a bank that will be done by the cooperative sector and by the cooperative sector.
And what are the specific aspects, really, that you're assessing in this study? And perhaps we also do want to delve into how this study will fit into Eswatini's broader financial inclusion and cooperative development strategy.
Yeah. What we are analyzing from the cooperatives is the financial health, the governance infrastructure, the membership participation and engagement that they have, the liquidity, the capital mobilization capacity that they can have. And also it's important to mention that this establishment of the cooperative bank in Eswatini is totally aligned with the strategy that the Ministry of Commerce have trying to create the financial inclusion in the country. And it is in the development plan that the minister have.
Yeah, so far, if you were to perhaps just whisper to us, if we really are looking feasible and liquid and healthy, as you put it, are we?
Yes, there is diverse spectrum. You can find cooperatives that are really financial sound, good management, leadership, membership engagement, but there are other cooperatives that they need to be supported. And that's why DGRB is here, trying to give this support for these cooperatives with capacity building, digitalization, and oriented to this strategy as a whole.
Yeah, and I suppose when you say ones that are well run, you're assessing everything from record keeping and, their statements, everything really that speaks to a healthy cooperative. If you were to give us like a proportion, what does that look like in terms of percentage when we're speaking cooperatives that meet at least the minimum standards?
Yeah, we can say until now, the preliminary results that we have is like between 20 to 30% of the cooperatives, the SACOs and some other cooperatives, really reach these minimal based and the standards that we establish. There is another 40% that they need this help, this support to be part of this cooperative bank. But it's important because last week we developed this first roundtable, and we see that all the movement is really acknowledged what is happening in the market. So that's one first good step.
Yeah, and in terms of challenges, we can count management skills. It could be member participation, it could be liquidity, it could be regulation, it could be trust. What are some of the challenges that you've recognized?
Actually, the ones that you mentioned are part of those challenges. Yeah. The participation of the members, the engagement that they have is one of the main challenges, or the key challenge that we have. The financial health in some cases as well, the governance, which is something that we are working a lot here in the country. But it's important to mention that these challenges are not just in Eswatini. We can find this all around the region in other countries as well.
So they're not unique to Eswatini. They are quite common everywhere. And in terms of fixing those challenges, it's never something that is, a big of a challenge, right?
Yeah, We need to work with them. And the idea that we have is that we need to work in phases. The process will be established in phases. So the first phase maybe could be important and interesting to work strategically with the large cooperatives, for example.
Yeah.
So they are able to work with that. And after that, through the targeting and support that we can develop to the cooperatives, they can join us in the future as well.
Yeah, with those, let's say, existing challenges within these different cooperatives, are those challenges not going to manifest to the broader vision of this cooperative bank that we want to have now?
I think that all the system wanted to have. This is the momentum, the exact momentum where we need to develop this bank.
Yeah.
And also exist this political will.
Yeah.
So we need to take advantage of that.
So in your assessment, you would say confidently that Eswatini cooperatives are ready to establish a bank?
Exactly.
Okay.
Not all with conditions, as I said, but we can continue developing the idea and establishing the Eswatini Cooperative Bank.
What key gaps need to be addressed first for that to happen?
Let's say, in the other hand of the cooperatives, the financial health is important. The governance structure is one thing that we need to work with. And also the regulatory and the legal framework. We need to work together with the governance. The liquidity is part of what we are analyzing and looking forward what are the next steps that we can work.
And education is obviously a given.
The building capacity is part of our ADN, let's say, as DGRB, as the work that we are doing here in the country.
What would you say the level of capitalization or membership strength would be required for the bank to operate sustainably?
This is a really interesting question because based on international experience, we can talk about 50 million in Malangeni. But based on our Banking Act, we have 3 categories for the establishment of this bank. And we go to the category C, which aligns to the rural development and the financial inclusion and cooperatives. So this is the opportunity that we have. In this specific category, we can talk about between 8 to 15 millions. The good point that we saw in the roundtable is that there are this will and there are cooperatives that already can start supporting this amount.
Yeah, and then are there existing models that we can sort of adopt from other countries and co-opt into our own model? I mean, you told me from Ecuador. No. There's Colombia right next to you, and a lot of countries in South America. We have South Africa right next to us. There's a lot of more developed countries. There's some models that we can, bring into our own model here.
Absolutely. We have some examples, and we are studying these examples in this business model that these cooperative banks have. For example, in the region from Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, we have in Asia, India, for example, and as you mentioned, Brazil, Ecuador, Colombia, that has also some experience. But it's important to point that we're not going to copy these models. We're going to create something that is based on our culture, based on our traditions, and based on what we really need as a country.
Given the current rate of cooperative failures or weaknesses in Eswatini, what lessons can be learned for ensuring that indeed this cooperative bank is a success?
The main lesson learned is that the fragmentation weakness in the system and the ecosystem. So we need to try to create this one voice and talk the same language as a sector, as a movement. That's the main challenge that we have.
Yeah, and I suppose fragmentation becomes the biggest problem there because if you want to, a bank speaks to harmony. Exactly. All the cooperatives come together.
Otherwise, it's impossible to.
Otherwise, it's impossible indeed. And what mechanisms are you going to put in place to sort of safeguard, if you want, the bank from the same challenges that are affecting cooperatives? Yeah,
we recommend individual oversight structure, a legal and regulatory framework for a cooperative bank.
For accountability.
Exactly. Of course, this base risk analysis based on audit units and supervisory. And I think that we can add a shared code of conduct and ethics. This is really important to continue with this idea because we're talking about the governance as well.
You mean like a universal one that they can all own together?
Exactly. And we can respect and apply
and account to.
Yes.
Fantastic. What kind of regulatory support, if we really just drill into now regulatory support, and I suppose that one becomes very important for accountability again, or oversight that you think is necessary from the government and the Central Bank of Eswatini?
That's a really interesting thing. First of all, we have the total support from the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade since the beginning. So this is aligned to the strategy that they have, and they are supporting us in all the steps that we have, starting from the round table banks. What we have is the support also from BBR. This is the Association from Banks from Germany. So they will visit us the next week with other counterparties and partners that will help us and guide us to establish this specific cooperative bank.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing, how we can share these experiences and learn from them. We're not waiting to have a dictate from that side, but we want to learn from them, and we have this orientation in some way to work.
Yeah.
We need to continue working together and collaborate, with the central bank and also with the FSRA, which is really important for us. Continuously dialogue, trying to see what the policy is established here in the country, and the main important, a legal and regulatory framework that can help us to have these next steps forward. The licensing, the kind of licensing that we are going to obtain from the central bank is also needs to be clarified,
right,
and really have on mind.
Well outlined.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perhaps as a parting shot, and I asked a question that's almost similar to this one, but just to ground this conversation, just how important is this cooperative bank in our economy in Eswatini, given, of course, that the lifeblood of our economy are SMEs, cooperative banks obviously playing a major role there. And then if we assess the existing challenges within our economy alone, which is outside of cooperative banks, just how big of an integral role will the bank play? How important is it?
It's more than important. The financial inclusion means that everyone has the access to products and services. And through these products and services, you can really have a better life. And that's why a central bank can reinvest all the amount of all the money that you talked at the beginning, 3.5 billion of Emalengeni are on the market. But we need to reinvest in the same sector, in the movement. So it's important for us to focalize that this is cooperative bank is a bank created by the movement, for the movement, and with the movement. That's what we are doing here.
That's a perfect parting shot. Let me not ruin that. Fernando Espinosa from the DGRV. I hope I'm not butchering that. And of course, we're assessing the country's readiness for the National Cooperative Bank. Thank you for staying with us. We have more for you. We assess the markets now with our economist, Sanela Sbia, after the break.